Welcome from Bethany. My name is Martha, and I live in Bethany, as does Lazarus, my brother, and Mary, my sister. And I just want to share this story with you. I know you will appreciate it. One day, Rabbi Jesus came through Bethany, and I wanted to invite him into our house. And being the good Jewish lady that I am, and with my upbringing, I pulled out the finest linen for him and the finest dishes. And I was busy in the kitchen preparing the finest meal I could because I so wanted to impress him. And then I realized Mary was in the other room with Jesus. And the more I thought about it, the more anxious I became because I had all this work to do, and she was in there just sitting at his feet listening. And I didn't understand it. I got angry with things and I let it bother me is what happened. And Mary knows women only have the purpose of cooking and cleaning and having babies. They didn't have any business in there being educated. And he was teaching them about the Torah and about the prophets, and well, she needed to be in there with me, and I started clanging pots and pans. You know how we get when we get angry like that. And I was clanging these pots and pans, and she never got the point of what I was trying to get across to her. So finally, I just marched right in there and interrupted the lesson that he was teaching and practically told him to tell her to get in there with me. Well, you won't believe what happened. Instead of taking my side and telling her to get in there as she should, he told me, "Martha, Martha, you are anxious and troubled about many things." Well, that made me angrier, but I didn't say anything. He didn't understand how hard it was to put on a meal like this and how I was wanting to impress him. But you know, the more I thought about it, I was anxious. I was anxious to impress him. I was anxious to have our family be thought highly of by our rabbi. And I was troubled because Mary would not do Mary was being Mary. She just wasn't going to conform to what women in Bethany do. So I'm thankful that he gave me that reprimand. And a few weeks later, he was in Bethany again. This time he was on his way to Jerusalem to the Passover. And again, he was in the other room, and again, Mary was in there with him. And again, I'm in the kitchen cooking. But this time I'm in there singing a happy tune. This time I'm not letting things bother me as they did before. And I'm not sure what Mary was thinking at the time, but she did something very strange. But then Mary does strange things every once in a while. But she got up from where she was, and she got down on the floor at Jesus' feet. And she took some ointment that we had. We use it to anoint a body when we bury him. But she poured this ointment on his feet. The room, the fragrance in the room was so beautiful. And then she let down her hair, which is another thing she wasn't supposed to do. And she's supposed to do that in private, but anyway, Mary. She let down her hair, and she took her long, beautiful hair, and she just dried his feet with it. And as I look back and think of the atmosphere of when I went into the room the last time, and just my venom filled the room. But this time it's Mary's love for Jesus. She was worshiping him. And you wonder why. Well, Jesus changed me. He changed Mary. And he changed Lazarus, because it wasn't that long ago we buried Lazarus. But yet Lazarus is right here with us, prepared to eat a meal. When you meet Jesus, he changes you. You're not the same anymore. And that's my prayer for each one of you, that you will come to know Jesus, and that He will change you also.